Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you haven't been to my channel before, my name's Maddie. Today we are doing a high-end foundation routine. So this is the routine and the products that I usually use. I will be making a drugstore one as well, which I'll post next week. I use usually both, like I do a bit of a mix and match just depending on what I'm feeling on the day or my financial situation. Usually I will use a high-end if I'm going out because I need my makeup to stay on, be nice and heavy duty, or if it's just in the day, sometimes I just use my drugstore. It's been a while since I posted a video because, as you can see, my skin's not looking the best. I've just been really nervous to get on camera while my skin does look like this. I've had a really bad eczema outbreak around my eyes, which you'll see in a sec when you see me without makeup, and just real bad hormonal acne. But then I just thought, you know, I guess I want to be kind of like a role model for anyone who does have bad skin, or not bad skin, just, you know, they're having trouble with their skin. I just feel like it's not about me and my vanity, it's about me sharing something with you guys, like sharing my creative ideas and things like that. So that's my little rant over, and let's just get straight into the video. Alright guys, so first I'm going to prime my face. I've got the Inglot Under Makeup Base. This is my favorite primer. So just use a tiny amount, like not even the size of a pea. And you're just gonna place that on the central areas of your face where you get the most oil flow, and then just drag that out to the outer perimeters. Now once that's applied, you want to leave that on for about 3 to 5 minutes before you add your foundation. It's got to have time to kind of settle into the skin. It's really, really silicone-y, so if you pop your foundation on right away, it's going to kind of slide around everywhere, and that's not what you want. When you think of what a primer is doing, it's creating a barrier between your skin's oil flow and the foundation that you're going to pop on. So, you know, you've got to give it some time to actually do its job. That's what it means when it says a primer kind of helps makeup last longer, because it's stopping the oil from your skin from getting in the way of your foundation. Alright, now quite clearly I need a bit of color correcting. I've got seriously bad eczema at the moment. Like, it is just, I don't think it's been this bad in my life. I don't know why. So if we are color correcting anything red, like these blemishes, a bit of my eczema, you're going to use green. I've got the Smashbox color correcting stick in Get Less Red, and I'm just gonna like draw. Oh my god, this is gonna take me so long on all of my blemishes, my little pimple farm. And then using my fingers, I'm just gonna kind of push that into the skin. With color correcting, it's great to kind of just try and get it directly onto the blemish. You don't really need it in the surrounding skin, and you don't need to blend it all in because we're gonna pop foundation over the top. I'm going to do a video later on about color correcting as well, what colors to use for which floor, I guess, on your face. I've also got really dark circles under my eyes at the moment. I've got this product here. It's called Bright Eyes Eye Enhancing Treatment, and it's by the brand Skin by Dimitri James. So he does a lot of skincare. He also does makeup. It's amazing, those products. I just love them. This one's great because it's got the orangey tinge, and it's also got little light reflecting particles. So it's gonna kind of detract from those dark bluish color circles. And then just using a damp beauty blender, I'm just gonna blend that in. Amazing. That is just so good. One of my favorite products. Now moving on to foundation, I have my Stila Stay All Day Foundation and Concealer, and that's in the color Honey. The applicator for this is just like that. You guys would have seen me use this before. I'm just gonna put it on my face like this. And then with my Zoeva buffer brush, I'm just gonna blend that in. I love this foundation because it's pretty matte. It's not completely matte, but it doesn't get flaky throughout the day, which is so important for my skin because it's so dehydrated. It's just fabulous. And see how the foundation just kind of goes right over that green that we did and the orange, and now my skin kind of looks neutralized. Always make sure you blend the foundation to your ears as well. It sounds weird, but I used to never do it, and then I saw photos of myself from like high school and I was like, why did I not ever think to put foundation on my white little ears? Now this is probably my fave part. I am going to highlight my face. I'm using the Josie Maran Argan Creamy Concealer Crayon, and this is in the color Fair, so it's the lightest color you can get in it. It's super light, but I love it. So I'm just going to highlight all the central areas of my face. Do a little palm tree on your forehead. Ooh, maybe not that much. And under the eyes. And I take it to the sides of my nose too, because it gives you a good guide that way of where you want to go when you contour your nose. And you can even go a little bit under the hollows of your cheekbones. So not in the hollows, just under the hollows. I'm also going to go under my eyebrow. Then I'm going to blend that out with my damp beauty blender again. Now we're going to set our whole face. So I've got the Bare Minerals Perfecting Skin Veil. This is in the color medium, but I find that it's pretty much translucent. It doesn't really change the color of my foundation ever. That's why I really like it. So I'm just taking my Smashbox Kabuki brush, tapping off any excess, and then just dusting that over my entire face. I like this because it doesn't have flashback or anything in photos, which is so important. It's good, I think, always before buying any product, it's really good to look at reviews, because something that can look so good in your mirror at home, you know, you'll go out, get photos taken, and if there's a flash, you just don't know until you read up on products or make the mistake yourself. Okay, now that my face is all set, let's add some color and some shape. So I have my Tarteist Contour Palette. It looks like this. Isn't it gorgeous? Tarte has the most amazing packaging. So there's a highlight color, and then there's like a yellowy color, which I like for under the eyes. And then there is a blush, which is a really beautiful color. It goes with most things. Then there's a light contour shade, and then there's a deep contour shade. So if I am using this in the day, I'll use the light contour shade. If I'm using it in the night, I'll usually mix the two, because the dark contour shade's still too dark for me to use on its own. So first I'm going to set my under eyes before they crease, because the Josie Maran concealer is really creamy, which is why I love it, because my skin's so flaky. So I'm taking my Real Techniques setting brush. I'm just going to dip it into that number 2 color, the yellow, and just place that under my eye. Oh, don't get it in your eye. Look at the difference. Sorry about my hair, by the way. I had work earlier today, and I had a few massages, so it's a bit curly. I'm just gonna place that over the top of my lid as well. Usually I'll do this after I put eye primer on, but for the sake of this video, I'm not putting eye primer on because it's a foundation routine, so. Alright, so now I'm going to set all the other areas that I highlighted with that concealer earlier. I'm going to be using this pinky highlight color now. They've got numbers on them, so it's number 1. Using the round edge of my dual-ended Makeup Forever brush, I'm just going to go over those areas I highlighted. Down my nose, above my lip, my chin, and underneath my cheekbones. Looking good. Now moving on to contouring. So today I'm going to just start off using the lighter shade of contour, and then if I want a deeper contour in other areas, I'll do that. So I've just got a tissue here. I'm just going to wipe clean my Real Techniques brush, because I'm going to be using that to contour as well. So just dipping a little bit into that shade, just find the natural contour of my cheek, and then just starting off lightly and just build it up. This palette is very pigmented, so use a light hand. Ugh, get out of the way. I'm the world's slowest contourer. It's such an easy thing for me to ruin. I'm not naturally good at contouring, so maybe you guys are faster than me. So I'm taking that about halfway through my cheek and then just kind of sweeping it downwards. You don't have to do that. I just like my face to kind of look like this. Just going to dip the brush in that deep color and just go over that lightly. And I'm gonna be safe rather than sorry and leave it at that. And then just repeat the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so now my cheek contouring is done. I just need to blend it out. So with that same round end of my dual-ended brush, just gonna blend that out so that there's no harsh line. Such a beautiful, cool toned color. I think that looks good. I can't see in my monitor. Sometimes I think something looks good and then I go to edit and I'm like, why? Okay, time to give ourselves a jawline. I'm going to use that light shade again, and actually I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the darker shade using the same Real Techniques brush, tapping off any excess. Sometimes I go like this to see like what I want gone. Right there. Make sure you blend this out because this can be very obvious if it's not properly blended. I've fallen victim to myself a few too many times. Now just doing the other side. And then time to blend. So you can use that same round edge again, or sometimes if you've gone for a real heavy contour, you might need a firmer brush. So sometimes I'll even go in with my Zoeva buffer brush. I didn't really need to this time, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, now we're gonna snatch our nose using the lighter shade again. I'm using my Zoeva 227 Luxe Soft Definer brush. So just popping that on one side of the brush. I'm just gonna start at the inner eye socket and drag it down. I drag it down all the way to the end. And same thing on the other side. I literally always contour my nose sideways. I don't know because it is that my nose is sideways and I just don't realize until I've contoured or what. And then I'm going to go into the nasolabial folds, which are just these little creases here. And take that a bit on the side of my nostrils. So your contour is gonna detract. So if you want to make something look smaller, cover it in contour. And then I'm just gonna make a little V right at the front of my nose. And then I'm just going to blend with the round side of my brush. I'm not actually going to contour my forehead, I'm just going to put bronzer on there instead. And I forgot to mention that this palette also has a little highlighter, like a shimmery highlighter, but I don't really use it because it's not really that shiny. I just like to use something else, but the rest of the palette is amazing, so it's worth it anyway. Now we're gonna bronze our face up. I'm using the Too Faced Sun Bunny Natural Bronzer. So this one's got two shades, which I love. Using the round side again. Obviously, I like this brush quite a bit. Just swirling it around, tapping off the excess, and dusting that over my hairline. Very pigmented as well, so you don't need too much. And then taking it right down to the temples. And then I'm using that technique that I learned from Sondra Deluxe. I put bronzer on half of my brush, like one side, and then using that side, I just go over where I contoured. So it's just gonna warm the contour up a little bit, and it's good because you can go a bit crazy and it stays where it's meant to be because the brush kind of hugs the natural contour of your cheek, which is just great. Okay, now using the Smashbox Kabuki brush, I'm just gonna buff out any harsh lines. I always get lines, like you can see where I've started and stopped on my forehead because it is so dehydrated, product sticks. Alright guys, so that's our face done. So we did the foundation routine with a bit of a contour kind of tutorial as well, but not very in depth. So I'll do one of those a bit later down the track. From here, I would add a bit of blush, I'd add my shimmer as well, and obviously do my brows and eyes and things like that. But this is just great. It's a bit of like a base video. So I'm not going to be filming myself applying foundation and contour in my videos anymore because I pretty much just use the same products. Firstly, because I can't really afford to buy new foundations all the time, and secondly because I do really like the products that I'm using at the moment. But obviously when I start making a bit more money, or if I move out of a house that I'm paying less rent, I will be able to afford more products. But for now, this is how the videos are gonna run. So I hope you liked it. Hope you liked the final look. And if you did, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you later. Thanks guys.